Ever since Hyuna and Hani announced their marriages, they've been catching heat from all sides. It's been months, but people aren't mad about them tying the knot. It's all about their men. Hyuna's with Jun-young, whose name brought up in the Burning Sun scandal. And Hani married her boyfriend of 4 years, famous psychiatrist Jae-woo, who was under fire after a patient passed away at his hospital. Let's break down what's really going on, starting with Hyuna. Hyuna has always been this bold idol who got criticized for a lot of things, but somehow managed to pull through thanks to her fans. But this year, fans' perception of her has seriously shifted. And honestly, I gotta say it, Hyuna's career is on a fast track to crashing with this marriage decision. Her music isn't hitting like it used to. Tour dates are getting cancelled. And fans are giving her the cold shoulder at live events. The damage is real. What really makes netizens curious is why she's sticking with Jun-young despite everything. Like, is it love? Loyalty? Or does she think this won't actually hurt her career in the long run? It's got everyone wondering what's going through her head. Fans have started realizing that she was never really about women's empowerment or feminism, despite the image she put out. I even made a video before clearing up some of the misinformation about her soon-to-be husband, Jun-young. But the fact is, he watched that video of the woman shared in the chat room and didn't do anything about it. It's hard to see him ever being forgiven for that. One of the big questions popping up on Reddit and in the comments is, why is Hyuna even doing this? Honestly, the simple answer is that they're happy. Their statement said they've been a huge source of comfort to each other and have deep affection and trust. But let's be real, that statement didn't help Hyuna's case at all. I do see some comments still supporting Hyuna, but even those are getting attacked by others. It's wild out here. Fans are feeling seriously betrayed by Hyuna, and to make things worse, there's a lot of curiosity about why she left on. It's been said she broke up with him partly because she wasn't ready to marry. So why is she now marrying someone with such a messy past? One user wrote, wasn't Hyuna hesitant to marry Dong? Wasn't that part of the reason why they split? What in the world is this situation? I'm so disappointed in Hyuna. The truth is, we fans behind our screens can never truly understand the relationship dynamics of people we barely know, even if we followed their careers closely. There's also a theory floating around that Jun-young might be using Hyuna to make a comeback. He retired in 2019, tried to return in 2022, but that was postponed and he finally made his comeback this year. A user speculated either she's pregnant or one of the two is coming out with new music and someone spilled the beans, so they get more publicity. Regardless if it's good or bad, the comeback didn't exactly blow up, though, so it's hard to fully back this theory. Hyuna had hinted at a comeback this year, but now it feels like the hate is just inevitable. One user expressed their frustration. At this point, choices were made. She can't really feign ignorance and IDIC anymore. So, let me just reframe this news and move on with my day. How kind of them to take each other out of the dating pool and far away from the rest of us. Honestly, we might never get answers to these questions, and the hate doesn't seem to be dying down anytime soon. I checked the comments on her most recent Instagram post, and it's clear things aren't getting better, only worse. Her upcoming marriage in October might just end her career. One user put it bluntly. If this is the shotgun wedding I think it is, then it's going to be the final nail in the coffin of Hyuna's career. Actually, more like finally burying the coffin of her good riddance. I can't even listen to Triple H anymore because it just reminds me how awful everything ended up being. I miss you, retrofuturism. So, let's talk about Exid's Hani. She dropped the big news on May 29th, that she's tying the knot with psychiatrist Yang Jae-woo. Now, this guy isn't just any psychiatrist, he's been over TV as a mental health expert, even sitting on the panel of that dating show, Heart Signal. Just 3 days before Hani and Yang's wedding news, on May 26th, a really tragic story broke. SBS reported that a 33-year-old woman, we'll call her Miss A, died in a psychiatric hospital in Bukkian, Gyeonggi Province. She was there for addiction treatment related to diet pills that apparently had some narcotics in them. But on May 27th, after 17 days in the hospital, she passed away, and the National Forensic Service said it was due to something called pseudo-obstruction. Now, A's family is devastated and angry. They filed a criminal complaint against the hospital staff and submitted a petition to the National Human Rights Commission of Korea. The CCTV footage from the hospital is pretty horrifying. It shows a clutching her stomach, knocking on the isolation room door, begging to be let out. Instead of helping her, the staff gave her a sedative, tied her down, and basically just left her there. 2 hours later, she was struggling to breathe, bleeding from her nose, and all the staff did was remove the restraints, no other action taken, and then she died. Here's where it gets messy for Yang. People started speculating that the hospital in the footage might be his. The victim's family even said they picked that hospital because it was run by a famous psychiatrist, Someone they trusted because they saw him on TV talking about addiction programs and stuff. The family also claims that Yang never even showed up in person to offer condolences. Only his lawyers did. So, when Hani and Yang announced their wedding just 3 days after this news broke, fans were like, really, this timing is horrible. One user put it bluntly. After that incident, they just go ahead and announce a wedding. It's creepy. Yang finally apologized, but it was on July 29th, a whole 2 months after the incident. He said he deeply regretted what happened and offered condolences to the family, saying the hospital was cooperating with the investigation. But people weren't having it. Another user commented, "This happened in May, and they're only now apologizing. A person died and all they care about is their wedding." What's making things even worse is that it's being said Yang didn't even meet the patient for a consultation, even though the family chose his hospital specifically because of his TV appearances and YouTube videos. So now there's this whole debate about whether doctors should be more focused on their clinics rather than being on TV or YouTube. Someone even wrote, real doctors don't appear on TV or anything like that. They're too busy actually treating patients. It's heartbreaking to see Hani caught up in all of this. She's always been a beloved member of Exid, and it's clear she deserves happiness like anyone else. But with everything that's happened, it's understandable why people are upset and why this situation has cast a shadow over what should have been a joyful moment in her life. At the end of the day, we have to remember there's a family grieving the loss of a loved one, and that's something that shouldn't be overlooked. My deepest condolences go out to the family of the victim. Hopefully, the investigation brings some answers and closure for everyone involved. And for Hani, we just hope she finds peace and happiness. For Hyuna, it's a tough situation, and honestly, it feels like Hyuna's facing a storm that might be impossible to weather. But here's the real question. Do you think Hyuna can turn things around, or is this truly the end of her career? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments because this one's got everyone talking. And if you are interested to know more in detail about the Hyuna case, this is the video I would highly recommend you watch. And that's it for today. Do comment, I read all of them. Subscribe and like the video. Thanks for watching.